They are grooming kids to obey without question. And if in school they begin to empower children and teach them what consent really is, the whole system is going to fall apart. They're teaching that obedience equals love. No. Hey everybody, future me here. I forgot to introduce myself. So welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan, a former Fundy, a former member of the Jehovah's Witness cult, and I've been experiencing life through another lens and a different perspective, and I'm bringing you all on that journey with me. So come along and let's get into the topic. Consent is a taboo topic for conservatives. Why is it so contentious to teach body autonomy? So much so that in Indiana, they're trying to remove consent from sexual education. Why wouldn't you want generations of children to know that they can say no, that they can set boundaries for their bodies? Oh, I can tell you why. I grew up in a high control group. I've now removed myself from said group and began that deconstruction journey, and have now come to realize, oh, it's really dark. If you have churches all across this country, just like the Jehovah's Witnesses, teaching women that they should please their husbands, they shouldn't be saying no, they should be submissive, they should obey, be meek, be mild, be silent. And in school, now they're teaching consent. You can't on one hand teach children that they have a right to self-determination at school, and then when they go to church, they learn that they don't have a right to say no to their partner. The hypocrisy would be blatant. Their agency is being attacked while they're young and they don't know any better. And then everybody gets suffocated under these strict, rigid gender roles. The traditional gender roles that uses benevolent sexism to manufacture consent from women. They'd tell us that, oh, you're just naturally more nurturing. You should be the one to change the baby's diaper. You're so much better at washing the dishes and you're more efficient. You're the homemaker, so you should be the one to get the kids up and get them ready. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. At your job, your boss might not want to give you the new lead position because they feel like you should be at home with your children. We're continuously held in an inferior position, and consent goes so much further than sex. The other day, I learned about a young mother who died because a Jehovah's Witness doctor refused to give their patient a blood transfusion. She'd just had a C-section. She began to bleed out. And the doctor was like, ixnay on the udblay, and she bled out. That mother did not consent to die. There was no informed consent there. There's so much difference between consent being taught to children that, hey, you can say no, not just to sex, but you can say no to things that cross your boundaries. And manufactured consent is how we were indoctrinated in the cult. Everything teaches us that we should just defer to men, and that, you know, your role is to be the helper to men, and your voice doesn't matter as much as his does. He's the leader, and you follow, even if he's leading you off a cliff. Even if this person is a drunkard and has trouble keeping their job, you still need to respect and bow to his authority. What sense does that make? You don't find that weird? You don't find that suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
That conformity is treated like a virtue. There's no room for no. There is no room for questioning. There is one authority, and it's the Bible. Conservatives love forcing themselves on people, forcing their practices, forcing their views, their opinions, their religion, their way of life on others. They are grooming kids to obey without question. And if in school they begin to empower children and teach them what consent really is, the whole system is going to fall apart. They're teaching that obedience equals love. No means rebellion. You don't trust yourself. There's multiple layers to the programming and the self-policing that leads us to this authoritarian rule. And the Bible has been the perfect tool to get us there. They want to force us to worship a grotesque God that demands obedience, that thinks it's okay to commit genocide against people, to do bad things to children, to treat women like property. Are we expected to enjoy being forced into an abusive relationship with their God? I don't want to be in any abusive relationship, not with a friend, not with a coworker, not with my partner, let alone this divine supreme being who demands that I just do exactly as he says, whenever he says, even if that means killing somebody over a different belief. There's no way that they want you to enjoy it. They don't care, because cruelty is the point. They don't really care if you're happy, if you're fulfilled with your relationship with your creator. You're meant to be miserable. If you're so busy and worried about just how your life is in shambles and you keep sinning and you can't do anything right, you never actually address the real problems. It's the programming, nor see the actual issues with what's happening in the world. I guarantee you there will be conservatives that will see this video and will claim they have no idea what I'm talking about. And the ones who do know will say, yeah, that's right. I don't care. I want to own your body. Your body, my choice. Yuck. Gag me with a spoon. They get off on controlling you, and they love that you're miserable. Cruelty is always part of the system. It is built right in, baked in goodness. And when you bring it up, and when you make videos about it, when you go on social media and you discuss it, all of a sudden they're the victims. We're the one infringing on them when it's quite the opposite. What does it say about you as a person when your entire religion is built on fear, is built on submission, guilt? And the GOP is taking advantage and inserting the Bible into public school. And now there's even a possibility that there's going to be a private Christian school. They're going to see if that works, test the waters, take money away from public education and give it to indoctrinate children. Give me a break. And they're the ones who are being persecuted, taking food out of children's mouths. And you're the one who is suffering. My God, they're nothing like their alleged savior. Nothing. Children have a right to a safe space away from spiritual coercion. Schools should be a safe zone. They should be taught consent. They should be taught sexual education. There's many things that should be taught in school, but if they continue to suck the life out of our education system, well, we know why. They want to dumb everybody down, so they just agree to authoritarian rule because God says so. Just that easy. I, for one, am not falling for it. I think I've went on long enough. Consent is important for sex, for life, in your relationships, in your business. Teach children they have the power to say no to things that make them uncomfortable. And you'll have a much stronger child. Let me know in the comments what's going on in your state, what boundaries are being crossed. We know that they're making a push. They're taking advantage. Stay aware. Please be curious. And I'll see you next time.